Alright, so today we waited about 2.5, 3 months for this guy, but we have the Self-Reliance Outfitters PKS knife that I ordered. It's the Kephart edition. So we're going to open this box up, take a look at it, get our initial thoughts and review of that unboxing, if you will. But we're also going to have a part 2 to this. We'll actually take this knife out, do a little hiking trip with it, maybe start a fire or something like that. We'll put the knife through a little torture test, or the gauntlet, if you will. Let's open this guy up. So maybe a little story also, but I believe the Self-Reliance Outfitters, they shipped this box through UPS. Not USPS, but UPS. But I was pretty disappointed as far as UPS goes. It's been raining here for like 20 hours now. We finally got no rain where I could do this review here, but we only got like 2 hours before it gets dark out. But you can see this cardboard box, how it's kind of wilted looking. So they put this box at the end of my driveway in the rain, and the cardboard was basically saturated all the way through. So, not to any fault of the Self-Reliance Outfitters, but you kind of would have thought that UPS maybe put it in a plastic bag or did something a little different with it. And then also their tracking for the item was terrible also. They never showed me any tracking of the item, and then before I knew it, it was just sitting on my door and it still never said delivered. So let's get into here a little bit. So we got our order sheet, which I ordered some other items through there too, which they came out really nice. Alright, so far looks good. I'm glad this box doesn't look to be water damaged. On the back of the box here, it has some different model knives they make, and looks like they check it for whatever it is you ordered. So I got the Kephart edition. This is the regular, it's not the extra large. And I got the black micarta handles on there. Looks like we got a PKS logo sticker in there. And then a card here, which actually talks about the lifetime warranty on the item. Has the Self-Reliance website and phone number on it. So when you buy this knife, you can buy the knife by itself, or you could buy it with the Sheath edition also. And then you have some options as far as picking what kind of handle material you want on your knife. So I heard on the PKS knives that they have the knife wrapped in cellophane. So it looks like they did that with this one also. Why don't you guys come in a little closer so you can get a first impressions of this knife as I unwrap it. Alright, let's start unwrapping this guy. Alright, so far this thing looks pretty good. Looks like it could use a little bit of a wipe down with a paper towel or cloth maybe. I'm going to go ahead and take a little closer look myself and take a look at the grind and the fit and finish of it. Alright, so initial impressions of the knife, really, really nice. They got the PKS logo stamped into the blade itself. This has the Scandi grind on there. It looks to be razor sharp. The grind looks really nice on there. It also has the 90-degree spine on it, so you could strike a ferrule rod or make shavings if you need to. The 90-degree spine is very sharp. I would actually be a little bit hesitant to run my finger across that 90-degree spine. I wouldn't be surprised if you could actually be cut with that. Definitely a 90-degree though. If you come in and you look at the symmetricalness of the blade tip, it looks to look really well. The pins are ground down nice and smooth. You can't feel them. The scales on the knife handle here doesn't appear to be no voids or any kind of warpage. No pockets that are filled in with epoxy. So far, I'm really digging this knife, liking it quite a bit. I actually got the sheath with it. I wasn't too sure about the sheath. I didn't know much about this company and the sheaths that I think Canterbury's buying these like third party, but selling them with his knives. But the leather and the knife itself, or the quality of the sheath, looks to be really well. Looks like really thick leather. It's got really nice stitching on there. All the stitching looks really good. It's actually got a hole in the bottom of it. I'm assuming they engineered it that way so you had some drainage in case you ever get water inside your sheath. Now it's a brand new sheath, so it's going to need a mold and get used and worked in to really get a custom fit to this blade. But it does appear to fit really nice the way you'd expect it to. As far as the knife goes, when you kind of look at it here, it almost has like a hand-forged kind of finish to it. So when they make these knives, it's actually a blank piece of steel, and they're doing stock removal on the blade. So it's not a hand-forged knife, as far as I know. It's just a stock removal. But when they treat the blade, you'll get some of this patina or straw color to the blade when they do the forging of it, or tempering of the steel. But it looks really good. It has a very bushcraft kind of finish to it, or the dirty by design feature to it. The grip on there is really nice. I was kind of worried about the grip, whether or not it would be fat enough or too fat. But I feel if you had a firm grip on this and you were batoning with it or really trying to bog down on it, it's got a good grip that fills the palm. Alright, so I'm going to take a look at my cheat sheet here. Now I'm not a huge like exact spec kind of person. I'm more or less the actual features, functionality. Is it worth the money you're spending? But it has an 1/8 inch stock steel is what they're using. It's high carbon steel, so it's going to rust. You're going to have to put some preventative maintenance in it to keep it from rusting. It's got the 90-degree spine, which we already talked about. Overall, this knife in total is 9 inches, but you can get the XL if you're wanting that additional length. It's got the Scandi grind, which we talked about, but it actually is a 13-degree on there. The knife itself weighs 5.9 ounces, and the Rockwell is between 55 and 60 Rockwell on the hardness. So as far as the Rockwell go on the PKS knives, they got really good reviews for having the Rockwell, that knife tuned in just right. And that's where you're like, you don't want your knife too soft where your edge is going to roll over, but you're not going to want it so hard that when you're batoning with it or you hit a knot in a piece of wood, that's going to end up cracking the knife or taking chunks out of your edge out of the knife with it because it's too hard. So another topic I want to talk about is that I think with some of the things you buy, you're kind of looking for some customer service behind it. So every time that I call the Self-Reliance Outfitters, they're always really helpful on the phone. They answer your questions right away. They know what they're talking about. But I've seen some bad reviews about some of their knives. And they were basically talking about like the fit and finish of the knife, not having a 90-degree spine, or the sharpness of the knife being so dull that they had to spend a half hour re-honing that blade in there. So I called the Self-Reliance Outfitters and I addressed those reviews that I seen with them. And one of the things that he told me, which I didn't realize at the time, but this knife does have that lifetime warranty on there. So let's say just by chance, somehow through quality control, you bought this knife and you did have a flaw with it, but it has a lifetime warranty on it. So he reassured me like, hey, if for some reason something was wrong with that, you would be able to mail it back to them and they would fix it, replace it, do whatever they got to do to make it right. So I think that lifetime warranty on the blade is a really cool feature on there. As far as those bad reviews that other people had on there, and there's not many, there's just a couple. But my initial thought on there I'm going to have to say they're probably just haters or probably don't know what they're looking at, because the quality of this knife right out the box, and this is my first time looking at it. I've been waiting on it for quite a while, really excited to get it. But first impressions on there, it's exactly what I wanted. Really, really like it. Alright, so my initial thoughts of it, this is a great looking knife. I hope you guys enjoyed my unboxing, my initial impressions on this knife. But all those things aside, your unboxing really doesn't count if your tool that you're buying can't withstand what you got to put it through. So we're going to wait a few days or a week. I got to work this week, and hopefully we'll be able to come back. We'll go ahead and do some hiking with this thing, a little bushcrafting, some carving. We'll see how that knife performs on that. So hopefully you guys watched that video. Make sure you guys like and subscribe, and thanks for watching our video today.